will cause further alarm. Russia's ally Belarus has also threatened to deploy nuclear weapons if Poland or Lithuania do so. Moscow has the world's second largest arsenal of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles, which form the backbone of Russia's deterrence forces. This is the second time that the Russian president has resorted to such posturing, warning the Western allies. In a statement at the onset of the invasion, remember, Putin said that anyone who tried to hinder Moscow would encounter historic consequences.
All right, Shalom. This is Hara 1 by Nyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Ka Halayim, Layahawa, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakakodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Just want to vibe in the spirit. What's on my mind is these atomic explosions, or what you would call nuclear explosions, nuclear bombs, mushroom clouds, fire, right? Uranium. So I woke up with this on my spirit. So I want to go into it. So I got a scripture here. I was doing some studying before I fell asleep, dealing with Russia and Ukraine situation, and how they're moving towards DEFCON, or America's move to DEFCON 2, which is one step closer to launching missiles, and Russia has done the same. It had put all their nuclear arsenal at a ready position in case they get hit with any type of sanctions. Well, I should say the actual sanctions are in place, and people like the EU, the Dragon, has placed sanctions on Russia, saying that Russia cannot fly their planes over Europe. They're cutting off Russia from the SWIFT bank. All right, and Russia said, hey, if they do it, that's going to be looked at as the EU has just nuked Russia, because the EU is basically a banking setup. All right, after World War I, the UK, they kind of went to a banking setup. All right, and they established the whore of Babylon to be the military might, and NATO, all right, the beast. Now Europe, the EU just decided to start establishing a military again a couple years ago, all right, after the Brexit. So now they're putting sanctions, which is their way of fighting, which is financial. Right? They're the bankers. They're the ones that own all the money establishments, like SWIFT, Then you have Switzerland, which they're worried about Switzerland taking billions of dollars from Putin after the orders came from NATO and the EU for Switzerland to keep Russia's money. If they do so, Russia said they're going to look at that as an act of war, all right? So they're going to look at it as not a financial move. They're going to look at it as Russia just got hit with a nuclear bomb, all right? So, and they said if they do so, that's why we see Russia putting ICBMs on standby, That's why we see Russia bringing something out called the flamethrower. The damn flamethrower. It's a missile launcher that could launch missiles, and the missile actually blows up next to people or over them or whatever, and it sucks the oxygen out of their lungs. This is what Russia just put into play, and they're supposed to be using that this coming weeks. So yeah, they've entered into the nuclear stage of this war that's kicking off. No more proxies. They're going to cyber. They still have a few stages left. They're going to go to cyber attacks. You know, they did the demonization already, and now it's got to go to nuclear war. All right, but still, the prophecy of the MOTB has to happen, but it can happen soon. Everything is at the door right now. You know, that could happen soon, man. Within a month, that could be pushed on everybody. And then next thing you know, the missiles being shot off. All right, and you got the Passover coming up, so it's like, whew. And the time of war is usually around March, April, basically in springtime. All right. So this is Revelation 6. Again, I'm just vibing in spirit. See what Revelation 6 and start from 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair. So it's like a physical object, like looking at somebody's hair in your way. Like you picture the sun, you know, a bright, beautiful day, then you picture somebody's afro going by you, blocking your hair, blocking your view. So that's how the missile's gonna do. And the nuclear fallout, the explosion, the smoke from it, is gonna be like sackcloth of hair. All right. Now it says here, it's gonna blot out the sun basically, and it's gonna shake the earth. That's where the earthquake gonna come from. And the moon became as blood. All right. So it's called nuclear fallout. That's when you see the moon turn red at night certain times because of pollution. So that's showing you the level of radiation that's going to be in the air, all right, from the missiles. See, right now they're just dropping regular basic ballistic missiles, but now they're moving into the stage of ICBM, or should I say nuclear attacks, you know. And who's going to do it first? It could be Russia, or it could be America or NATO, but I think it's going to be Russia. They might just launch one off just to see if anybody can respond. All right. They might launch it off on Ukraine somewhere. And it says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind, man. And that's what America's going to be doing. It's going to be shaken of a mighty wind, and it's going to fall quickly. All right, the missiles going to fall to the earth, satellites coming down and everything. And the heavens departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. And that's what we're looking at on the screen in the background. It's called a mushroom cloud, all right? And looking at it from the heavens, you'll see it open up like a scroll. It'll be two explosions and it's, you know, split. Rolled together. Every mountain and island were moved out of their places, man. That's how powerful these missiles are. All right, that the Lord established, that the Most High created, and He used these heathens to bring about the uranium, the the missiles, how to split the atom, right? To make something called nuclear fusion. Then you have nuclear fission. So like, because Esau has not found out nuclear fusion. The Lord didn't give him that. Scriptures say Esau is wiser than Daniel, but the Most High didn't give him the understanding of nuclear fusion. All right, Esau only understands nuclear fission. Nuclear fusion is how the stars are made. All right. Nuclear fission is how you make electricity, how you fuel all of the water plants around the world, and that can be taken and used to make uh, nuclear grade weapons. See that Esau take a natural element and turn it into something bad, and that's all in the scriptures. So yeah, man. It says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. So they're going to know Yahweh Shai is in the midst in that time. They're going to know that the missiles are flying, or America's at DEFCON 1. DEFCON 1 is basically when it's too late. You know, DEFCON 2 is what they're saying now. Just 6 hours to being ready. If something was to happen, they can send troops out or missiles out in 6 hours. All right. Same thing with Russia. They may not call it DEFCON, but it was established in the same mindset. All right, the levels of nuclear readiness and response. So, DEFCON 1 is basically the missiles already been shot, or America's already been attacked, and they're moving to DEFCON 1. All right, because this war is going to happen in stages. The destruction is going to happen in stages here in America, to Babylon. I believe it's going to get hit with an EMP. That's in the scriptures. Causing America to be what? Desolate and in darkness. Basically defenseless. All right? And then it's going to be destroyed. And that defenseless moment is going to leave everyone in darkness in America, in Babylon. And that's when you have your chaos. And that's what the Illuminati is hoping to bring, order out of chaos. All right? That's why you have this war scenario happening at this chosen moment. All right. 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand, man? See, all these people talking about some, I'm prepping. You can't prep for this type of shit. You know? What the hell wrong with them? So I'm gonna get this real quick. Bear with me, there's a scripture on my mind, just popped on my mind. That's right. Ezekiel 21. I was just speaking about this one with a brother the other day, but it just popped into my head. I'm gonna bring it out. Ezekiel 21:10, or 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh, say to them, a sword is sharpened and also furbished, man. All right, so these missiles, and to be sharpened means to be what? Perfected. All right, Ezekiel 21:9. Let me get that real quick. Ezekiel 21:9. All right, so sword is sharpened. It means to made it severe, to be alert. Made it ready, man. See, be keen, to be sharpened. It basically made ready. You know, like somebody going to war, you sharpen all your arrows like the Gadites would do. They would sit there and sharpen the arrows. That's what the Lord did. Got them all ready, made them perfect for the destruction, to fit his wrath. Wow. Right? And it's furbished. Let's see what furbished means. It says to polish, to make bald, to gall, to sharpen, to make bare, to polish, to be made bald. The head. All right? So he polished it, basically making it perfect, man. Make smooth. You know, somebody, you know how Jake be with them Cadillacs? They be white with them, you know, the ancient back in the day, the cars. And you see the video start out, they have a rag and they be wiping down the side of the car, making sure that joint clean. That was the Lord doing with the missiles. He made them perfect. Kind of like how much shot. It says here, right? Say to them, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. So the Lord wanted to be his wrath. He wanted to be mutilating, man. You know, as a destruction from the Almighty. All right, so a sore destruction. Let's see what that is. So he wanted to be sore. Like, that's why it's gonna have radiation, heat, fire. You know, heat and fire are two different things, two different elements. Gonna have light, another element, blinding people. Right? X-ray, all type of different levels of gamma radiation. Sheesh. And the nuclear winds that scatter people's bones all over the damn earth. The destroying winds. You know, and that brimstone, that's like lava. So, man, this is a sword slaughter. All right, something slaughtered, a beast, butchery, slaughter. So basically saying, yo, what the scripture say? Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. That's what these missiles going to do. Is going to rip people apart. Ezekiel 21:10. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. All right, made perfect, man, that it may shine. All right, glittering sword is going to be bathed in heaven. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, and he have given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. See, it's handled by who? This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give into the hand of the slayer. All right, the slayer today is Esau, whether they Russians or these damn Edomites. All right, so Russia are Edomites as well, just like those Ukrainians. All right, and so the Lord prophesied about this place being on fire, but with what? Let's get this real quick. Isaiah 9 and 18. All right. Isaiah, I'm gonna get the lexicon so I can look up the definition of some words. Isaiah 9 and 18. It says here, for wickedness burneth as the fire. It shall devour the briars and the thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of a smoke. Some of the missiles. All right. Through the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, the land is darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. So yeah, man, check this out. All right, that goes along with this one, Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. All right, war, soldiers, all right, and warriors deal with war. So the ancient battles were done with what? Confused noise, garments rolled in blood, swords fighting. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So it's a whole nother different type of war. Tactical war, long distance war, cowards war. You know, They had to set up different type of deterrents and levels. Instead of being with a sword, you'll create a shield for the sword. So they create missile defenses for the, um, the missile, which is swords or arrows. All right. So it's the same mindset, but on a bigger scale. They said what? But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. That's what I want to focus on. The burning and the fuel of fire. All right. So what's the fuel of fire and the burning? That means fire and damn uranium and plutonium. All right. So look at this fuel. It says something eaten by fire. Wow, man. So this shit. So this is gonna be war that everything's gonna be consumed by fire, and that's gonna be the Lord's judgment. That's what the Lord chose to judge the people. All right. That's right, man. So the Lord chose. There you go. This is what the Lord chose. Isaiah 66:16. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. So the Lord is going to plead and judge all flesh and melt these damn people and rip them to pieces. And you know, destroy them with radiation and melt their bodies and burn up the elements and everything they built. Yeah, that's why the Lord chose fire. It's the best cleansing agent, even better than water. So the Lord said it's going to be with burning and fuel of fire. Now, all right, you had this guy here named Martin Heinrich Kieproth. All right, and you also had somebody named Enrique. I forgot his last name, but these were the first people that started dealing with the element of uranium. All right, which was called something else, but they watch this. I'm gonna just read it. It says Martin Heinrich Kieproth, a German chemist. All right, a chemist. Those are people that deal with the chemicals. The word "chem," which comes from hot. All right, or elements, being like fuel. All right. So now it says a chemist. All right, they deal with chemicals. So now, just like a blacksmith. All right, so the blacksmith would make swords, but the Lord said this war was going to be with burning and fuel of fire. So they're going to need what? A different type of blacksmith. They're going to need a chemist. All right. Just like a pianist or a racist, a chemist is somebody that's a professional. Their profession is chemistry. Just like a blacksmith. All right. Martin Heinrich Kieproth was a German chemist. He trained and worked for much of his life as an apothecary. All right, what's an apothecary? Let's see what that is real quick. Not really important, but I still like looking at words in case I come across it again. Apothecary. So he worked all his life as an apothecary, a person who prepared and sold medicines. All right. So it says he moved in later life to the university. His shop became the second largest apothecary in Berlin, the most productive artisanal chemical research center in Europe. All right. So that was this guy here, man. And what was he known for? Let me look him up real quick. Martin Kieproth. Nukes. All right, so uranium was discovered in 1789 by Martin Kieproth, a German chemist. All right, so let me see. All right, so uranium. It says uranium is, now you hear them talking about Iran enriching uranium. Now that's a heavy process, because to enrich uranium, it's sort of like, people that give plasma, from their blood, and they get money for it. Well, what they do is they take that out of your blood and they put it into this plasma machine, this cylinder, and that cylinder spins and it separates, sort of like a hydrogen collider almost, but in the opposite. But well, kind of like that. It spins it and it separates the atoms. Like it shoot a molecule at the atom and it split it. All right, sort of like playing marbles, and two split apart. And that right there causes a major amount of energy, okay, and electricity. That's what they call nuclear fission. Same thing that happens in the sun and the stars, but opposite. All right, nuclear fission, you get electricity. Nuclear fusion, anything deal with nuclear, you're gonna get nuclear waste. All right, and that's the physical after effect of nuclear fission or fusion. All right, you're gonna get a negative, which would be some type of waste. That's why they keep them in barrels and such. But in this process, it's called nuclear fission, and it's basically the process of them separating the atoms from the stronger molecule of the what would it be called, the uranium ore. All right, basically turning it into a powder. All right, from a gas into a powder form, and then they take it from a powder form or whatever form, liquid, put it into a powder form. Then they put it into fuel rods. Okay, it look like little pieces of metal. And then they store those. So there's like a lot of energy. It's still not super powerful yet. It still has to be enriched. All right, and that's what the next process would be. But it takes a lot of power to do that. It has to go in like different cylinders, because you do it in the bloodstream, like separating plasma from the blood. It's easy to see the red blood cells separate, but from the nuclear energy or uranium, it's hard to see it, because they're the same almost in diameter or size, the atoms. All right, the molecules. So it's hard to tell. So it's a process they have to do over and over again in multiple cylinders, not just one. So that's why you see all that with Iran talking about enriching uranium. It can be used for like 90% of America's electricity comes from nuclear fission, all right, okay, enrichment and fuel rods. But those fuel rods can also be taken and changed into another form for missiles. All right, they add something called plutonium to it, which is another type of metal, just like iron, but it's explosive, and uranium causes sparks and power and pressure and fire and lava. So now let's finish reading this. It says uranium was discovered in the 1700s, 1789, right? In 1700s, they also found out about electricity. That's when they started using electricity in 1700s. And that was the beginning of the first industrial revolution around that time. All right. So it was discovered by Martin Kieproth or Klaproth, a German chemist, and German is Teeman. Okay, let me see. Let me get a scripture real quick. That's right. And America, the one that manipulated into a nuclear missile. This is Jeremiah 49:7. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? All right. But the Lord said what? This is Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee, right? Because all their technology and shit. And the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. So they manipulating the elements, doing all kind of shit. So they become wiser than Daniel and dealing with what you call science. All right. And now, so their scientists mainly come from what you would call Germany. All right. Or Europe. I'll just say Europe in general. All right. So now it says he isolated an oxide of uranium. All right. And I think oxide just means like a liquid form. All right. So he isolated a molecule of uranium. Okay. And uranium is in the air. They can actually take it out of the air, man. So he isolated an oxide of uranium while analyzing pitch blende samples from the Joad Kimstel silver mines in the former kingdom of Bohemia. So they were dealing with the silver mines, and they found and isolated an oxide of uranium. It says located in the present-day Czech Republic. He named his discovery Uran, after the planet Uranus. See how Esau think, you know, they worship these damn planets so much, you know. So he named it after the planet Uranus. So, and that's not the name of that planet, you know what I mean? That's a pagan term for it. All right, and this is the word Uranus. It comes from the first planet discovered that was known in ancient times, named for the god or the idol of heaven, husband of Gaia, which would be the earth. From Latin Uranus, from Greek Uranus, literally heaven, the sky. Uranus is the Greek mythological form, the personification of heaven. According to theogony, Gaia is earth emerging from primeval chaos. All right, so yeah, that's all that Greek shit, man. But you see where their mindset was, you know, when he named it that. All right, let's go to this real quick. It says here, what's this one? Okay, yeah, uranium. So it's the unit for uranium would be 92U. All right. U92, which would be uranium on the patriotic, what do you call that, table. All right. Shit, what's that called, man? Yeah, periodic table. All right, I always say patriotic, the whole periodic table. All right, I would hate to say that wrong, but yeah, let's get back to this. So it says uranium. All right, going back to that fuel. How is it called fuel? All right, fuel of fire, right? Uranium, radioactive chemical element of the actinoid series of the periodic table, atomic number 92. It is an important nuclear fuel. All right, it's an important nuclear fuel. and it deals with radiation, just like plutonium. They have plutonium in the ICBMs as well. All right, and plutonium is extremely flammable metal and radioactive. Okay. That's right, man. Let me see something real quick. Here you go, Revelations 8 and 10. No, I'll start from 6. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. All right, and they were cast upon the earth. Man, that's the missiles, man, or ICBM warheads. And the third part of the trees was burned up, and the green grass was burned up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, man. That's them big ass ICBMs. It's big as shit. It's huge. It's gonna be cast into the sea. And it also could be, you know, Russia just threatened the other day to shoot down the ISS. All right. And that would be like a 500-ton missile hitting America. They wanted to come down right over America, over Europe. But when you deal with these missiles, you deal with radiation, you know, and chemicals. So that's what this is talking about. So it's gonna be burning and fuel of fire and radiation, poison. All right, so and the second angel, no, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. See, they're gonna be shot into the heavens, and they're gonna fall down upon the earth, and it's gonna come down upon Idumea. All right, and Idumea is Babylon. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Let me get right here. Isaiah 34 and 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, meaning they're going to be shot. These missiles are going to be shot into the sky, and they're going to be have a full nuclear payload on them. All right, full of boiling plutonium and what you call it, uranium. All right. It says here, Isaiah 34 and 5, for my sword, talking about the missiles, shall be bathed in heaven, right? And the Lord prepared the whole warhead process. You know, he prepared that and created it. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. So today, the modern day Edom is America, all right? And upon the people of my curse to judgment. So that's all the wicked that I set up over here in Babylon to be destroyed. Okay, so now it says here, Revelation 8 and 7, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And wow, fire mingled with blood, not garments mingled in blood. It's gonna be fire mingled in blood. All right, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burned up, and all green grass was burnt up, man. You know, that's the missiles, man. You know, that's not just a nuclear or a regular missile strike either. That's something that's going to leave chemicals out there, chemical warfare. All right. Now, I want to see something real quick. Revelation 8 and 7. Revelation 8:7. 8:7. I just want to see something for this word blood. All right. Fire mingled with blood, literally of men or animals. Wow. Especially the atoning blood. Bloodshed. To be shed by violence. To slay. See, the Lord has put these missiles into the hand of the slayer. I got to finish that. I think I read that one. Yeah, into the hands of the slayer, right? So these are set up to slay with a sore slaughter, all right, murder. So and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life, they died. So it's going to destroy a lot of the damn animals out in the ocean, all right, and in the sea, and also whatever Navy ships is out there, or what you would call people that's out in the ocean. And the third part of the ships were destroyed, see? And the third, all around America, around Babylon. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. So their ship's going to be destroyed. They're already talking about shooting the EMP over America and over their ships. That's what China's plan is to do. And to strip them of all their energy and power and defenses. All right? So they're going to be destroyed, their ships. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven. So it's going to be a process of this destruction. All right, when they move to the ICBM stage, they're already moving towards the nuclear stage, which could still be ballistic missiles. And now they brought in the ICBMs, which they can use on a local or distant scale, shooting them across the earth to another continent or over there to Europe. All right, and eventually it's going to end up right here in America. And you got China talking about striking Taiwan and taking that. You got North Korea talking about taking Japan. They just shot off a missile yesterday. You got Iran talking about taking Israel. So this is it, man. Everything, the table's being, shit, they already at the table. It's time to eat. The year of the turnip, like Apostle Har said. All right. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven. So like a star. See, John the Revelator saw this in his mind like a vision, and he saw stars. When you look at them missiles, they look like stars. All right, in the sky. So it's going to be 200 million warheads that's going to be shot off. From heaven. See, he said his sword shall be bathed in heaven. It's going to come down upon Idumea, upon America, Babylon, burning as it were a lamp. That's the missiles, man. That's the missiles.
Item 127, missile suspension released. Item 128, launcher closure door open. Item 129, first stage ignition to missile.
Look at the launch. Look at the missile. Power is in its tail. All right. And then you got those missile silos. Right here, okay? It says here, he shall, Job 20 and 24, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him, man. So the glittering sword, once again, all right, meaning like a lamp. It's going to be shining like with fire, like a lamp, whose power is in his tail and power is in his head, meaning like warhead, or in the mouth, like a lion, or the tip. And the Lord fashioned it that way, all right? So watch it again, man. I don't know if it played or not, just in case.
Item 128, launcher closure door open. Item 129, first stage ignition to missile.
There you go. Come out of the missile silos or out of the belly of a submarine. Started dealing with the heavens, flight, space, missiles, satellites. All right, that's how you know this is stop right there. All right, let's get back to the scripture real quick. It says here, this is Revelation 8 and 8. The second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. Right, these joints gonna be huge. You know, look like semi trucks. If you're standing next to it, it would be small. And the third part of the sea became blood, all right, basically like poison, all right, radiation, toxic. And the third part of you know, that represents being toxic. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life, they died, man, all right. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters, and the name of the star is called Wormwood. See, I can see Russia and them doing that now. See, they moving real strategic. Everything they struck over there in Ukraine was dealing with airports, military areas, strategic bases, nuclear plants, you know, and they're trying to keep Ukraine as an asset, not a liability. So that's why they're not just rushing in and going gung ho. They're sending in some troops to do some damage, but they want to keep Ukraine as an asset. All right, that's what Russia's planning on doing. So I could see them shooting at America and attacking the waters, you know, attacking certain strategic shipping routes, you know, attacking the military bases and the nuclear facilities. All right. The name of the star is called Wormwood, man. Okay. So basically calamity. You know, bitterness. It made them bitter. So you know, it became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter, right? Poisonous, like radiation. And you get the radiation from what's called plutonium. All right, so we're still dealing with the uranium here, okay, the burning and fuel of fire. All right, so it says uranium U, radioactive chemical element of the actinoid series of the periodic table, atomic number 92. It is an important nuclear fuel. These and other recoverable uranium ores, right, that'd be the powder form of it, the ore, right, when they break it into like a little brick, as sources of nuclear fuels contain many times more energy than all the known recoverable deposits of fossil fuels. So you can get money, you can get energy from nuclear energy more than you can get energy from anything on the earth, as of yet known, you know. That's what the Lord allowed Esau to find out. All right. So let's see what else I got here real quick. Oh, look. This is Belarus over there with Russia, a Russian ally. They just approved nukes. And they warned the West they're pushing Russia into a World War III. And Belarus has agreed to host Russian ICBMs, so allowing Russia to shoot ICBMs from Belarus. All right, so they're threatening the West. The Belarusian president Alexander Lukashenko warned that sanctions against Russia would force the country into nuclear war. See, that's what they want. That's what they want, man. And who putting sanctions first? The EU and the Biden regime. You know. So that's what they want to do. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this. All right. Let me make sure I got it. There we go. This is Revelation 20:7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Talking about Europe, or these Edomites over there in Europe. All right, the dragon, the Roman Empire. And shall go out to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to the battle, and the number of whom is as the sand of the sea, man. So they're deceiving the nations, funding both sides of the war, the Rothschilds and these elite bankers. All right, and ultimately they want to cause this to happen to America. All right, because they want to do out with the old, in with the new. They want to be out with the old world order, and they want to bring in a new world order. All right, that's why they're trying to cause this war. Order out of chaos. Revelation 17:15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. That's America, the melting pot, literally. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. All right, them Europe nations. All right, just like England, which helped to establish America, or which we would call the UK. You know, the scriptures speak about that. They're done with America, okay? And shall make her desolate and naked. So they're causing America to become desolate and naked, you know, ashamed and unprotected, and shall eat her flesh. All right, so strip her of all her riches and culture, the mirth of the land, and shall burn her with fire. You know, so this is what the dragon is going to do to the whore of Babylon. The pimp is going to do to the whore, and cause her to be burned up too. Why? By deceiving these nations and pressing up against Russia's border, you know, that's what NATO's doing. Causing them to what? Ultimately destroy America, destroy Babylon. Okay, so where was I at? All right, this is from the Belarus president. It says, Lukashenko's comments and the referendum come after the president, Vladimir Putin, put his nuclear forces on high alert. and warned that intervention by the West would lead to the greatest consequences in history. That's what's about to happen. The greatest consequences, man. They're gonna pay for what they're doing. America. All right, Babylon. Lukashenko, a dictator who is a key Putin ally. I mean, they all dictators. They all a bunch of gangsters. He said, now there is a lot of talk against the banking sector, gas, oil, and SWIFT, basically against Russia. It's worse than war. See, this is worse than war. This is pushing Russia into a third world war. So who's doing that? The damn elites, some banking elites, okay? Esau. All right, now just real quick, U.S. official, Russian invasion of Ukraine risk release of dangerous pathogens, man. So it you know, the radiation you're dealing with here. So now, right, Belarus nuclear threat to the West, all right? So Putin's order while claiming Russia ready to talk. So they, you know, so it's going down. And that's what it's all about, this damn uranium and nuclear enrichment, and them taking that and creating something called fuel rods. All right, that's what these are called right here. These are called fuel rods, and they store them in these nuclear facilities. All right, and that's what Russia took over there in Ukraine. One of the biggest holders in nuclear energy and enrichment is Russia at this current moment. It says here, uranium burns in much the same way as iron. All right, that's where you get your, what is that called, man? Let me get this real quick, man. All right, well, I'll just say it, fire and brimstone, okay? Fire and brimstone. Brimstone is basically sulfur, all right? Something burning and turning into sulfur, and that's what the soils and the grounds and the buildings and the architecture, you know, everything's gonna burn up into sulfur. And even uranium is mixed with sulfur when they're enriching it. It says quite flammable as a fine powder, so when it's turned into uranium ore, which would be like a dust or a powder, it's quite flammable. But you can't just take a lighter to a block of it. Uranium is a bit more flammable, so when you shoot a depleted uranium round at something, it produces a shower of sparks. All right, and that's why we see those showers of sparks going off when people say, oh, you got hit with a nuke. I think they shot a nuke off. But then you have this as well, called plutonium. All right, and plutonium is different than uranium. Plutonium-239, the isotope found in the spent MOX fuel, there you go, fuel of fire, type of water says, is much more radioactive than the depleted uranium-238 in the fuel. See, it's stronger, more radioactive as well. Plutonium emits alpha radiation. Man, alpha, strong ass radiation. A highly, I can't say this word, ionizing form of radiation, so it can separate the damn atoms in your body, rip somebody apart, rather than beta or gamma radiation. Sheesh. All right, now check this out. Most of the uranium used in the nuclear and current nuclear weapons is approximately 93.5% enriched. Wow, man, made pure. It's, all right, uranium-235. Nuclear weapons typically contain 93% or more plutonium-239, less than 7% plutonium-240, and very small quantities of other plutonium isotopes. Shit. So that's what type of power is going to come out of this. Plutonium and nuclear uranium explosions. All right, so now it makes sense. You know, you can see this right here. Those are gases. And that's why you had a mushroom cloud. And you had the winds, destroying wind. All from a missile that the Lord has created, a weapon of his indignation. All right. So, let me see if I can get a couple more precepts real quick. Isaiah. Now you write a lesson out, you don't get to any of the lesson, any of the scripture you had lined up. I'm gonna do this another time. 54:16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire." See, blacksmith will sit there and blow the coals in the fire. Now, in this sense, it's talking about a chemist or a blacksmith that's preparing and sculpting and shaping these missiles and preparing them for the countries and for the soldiers to use. All right. So a blacksmith would sit there and prepare a sword for a certain warrior or army, or for themselves. They would usually be soldiers themselves too. So, behold, I have created the smiths. So the Lord created them, these chemists that have found the uranium element in 1700s. Behold, I have created the smith that blow up the coals in the fire. So he created these scientists and these generals that's producing and enriching this uranium, that's storing these fuel rods, all right, that's putting them into missiles as boiling enriched uranium, who's creating the warheads and technology to it, and the AI technology, artificial intelligence, and satellites to match up to it so they can go all around the world, and nuclear empowered, sheesh, unstoppable, invincible missiles that Russia has. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. See, these scientists think it's for them, for their own personal gain, for their country. But it's really what? And I have created the waster to destroy. All right. So the Lord has created them, and the Lord used them to create the waster to destroy. That's why that scripture right here, where it says, this is talking about the Lord created them, and they created the waster. Ezekiel 21:11, and he have given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give into the hand of the slayer. All right, so the Lord gave it into their hands. They prepared it by these scientists and these generals and these weapons manufacturers, and they give it into the hand of these soldiers, all right, the countries. All right, so where was that? Isaiah 54:16. Shit. All right, 54:16. All right, so yeah, man, verse 17. Behold, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, man. So the Lord said, all the weapons that's formed, he the Most High created them. So he can also create a way for you to escape, all right? That they're not going to prosper against you if you believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's power, you know? So, wow. Jeremiah 50:25, Yahweh have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation For this is the work of Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans, man. So the Most High created it, and this is his work that's going to happen in this land. It's going to destroy this place. All right? Maybe one more precept. Jeremiah 50 and 22. All the way to 27. Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. See? In the land of the Chaldeans. The elite bankers that has set up and established America. Okay? How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? So it's going to be cut to pieces and broken up and destroyed. How is Babylon become a desolation among all the other nations? I have laid a snare for thee. So the Lord has set this trap and this snare to trap this place and these people. And thou art also taken, O Babylon. And thou was, man, they don't even see this coming. So they're just moving along with their New World Order agenda and their paganism and wicked New World Order agenda. So they're not aware that the Lord is setting this trap. All right. Thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against Yahweh. All right. Because they have striven against the Lord. Verse 26. All right. I'm going to go to 25 again. Yahweh have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. That's his anger. That's why he wanted to be a sore destruction, a sore slaughter. For this is the work of Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly, that let nothing be left. Shit. So I'm going to stop there, man. That's right. Sheesh, man. Verse 31. Behold, I am come against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahweh of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. All right. I can keep going with this whole chapter, but oh my goodness. All right, so I'm gonna stop there, man. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there because you can read the whole chapter. All right, I might do another lesson later dealing with this kind of pick from this chapter. And with that, I'm gonna say Shalom, man. Dealing with the nuclear fuel, which would be the fuel of fire, which would be the uranium. All right. This is all the Most High's creation and his work. And what a beautiful work it is that he's chosen for his indignation. You know, polishing it, making it perfect. You know, so with that, I'm going to say Shalom.